6:30 table. Look at this. Here comes the authority. Get him to Dean Ambrose.
Welcome back, Wrestling Warriors. Here on Matt Mysteries, we drop fresh WWE news every day. Subscribe, and let's suplex our way into the stories. In the fictional world of WWE's scripted universe, few moments have sent shockwaves through fans like the sudden storyline revelation that Triple H has stripped Seth Rollins of his championship and removed him from all brand programming. Though the rivalry between authority figures and wrestlers has always been fertile ground for dramatic arcs, this twist felt different, heavier, and far more personal. It wasn't just about a title being vacated or a suspension being announced. It was portrayed as a deeper rupture between mentor and protege, a relationship fans had believed unshakable. The writers depicted the fallout as an event that took place behind closed doors, during a brief and explosive meeting that forever altered the direction of the company's fictional landscape. Rumors within the narrative world spread quickly, painting a picture of betrayal, ambition, and the fragile balance of power, reminding fans why WWE storytelling thrives on intensity, conflict, and high-stakes decisions. Seeds of tension. In this storyline, the drama began 3 weeks prior during a private contract discussion between Triple H and Seth Rollins. What should have been a routine negotiation was transformed into a dramatic flashpoint when Rollins, feeling he had earned unprecedented influence, laid out a set of demands that stunned even seasoned officials within the story. These demands weren't about salary or merchandise percentages like typical contract disputes. They were framed as a power grab, complete with control over booking decisions and creative direction. Within the narrative, characters reacted with disbelief, portraying Rollins as a superstar whose ambition had spiraled beyond reason. The breaking point. The fictional conflict intensified when Seth's character threatened to walk away, not quietly, but dramatically, hinting at taking ideas and momentum to rival companies. In WWE's rich storytelling tradition, this played into the classic theme of loyalty versus ambition, loyalty versus ego, and loyalty versus the allure of outside opportunity. Triple H's character, usually composed and strategic, was written to be visibly stunned at Rollins' ultimatum, shocked that someone he had championed for years would push the boundaries so far. It was a turning point, one of those no-going-back moments where a rift is cemented not by what is said, but by the shock of realizing trust has broken. Fallout and fictional investigation. As part of the narrative, WWE officials launched an internal investigation, discovering Seth had been gathering backstage conversations in an attempt to build a case against management's decisions. While entirely fictional, this plot device amplified tension, painting Seth as someone overwhelmed by frustration and convinced that extreme measures were the only way to reshape his trajectory. The storyline spun out quickly, adding layers of secrecy, paranoia, and fractured alliances in the locker room. Wrestlers in the fictional universe were shown questioning what conversations might have been recorded or taken out of context, creating a palpable sense of mistrust in backstage interviews and segments. Triple H's final decision. The decisive moment, as scripted, came in a 14-minute meeting where Triple H presented a folder of evidence, texts, transcripts, and notes, framed as the culmination of Rollins' actions within the storyline. Seth attempted to explain, but his character's earlier decisions had pushed things beyond repair. Triple H then slid the termination papers across the table, creating a dramatic visual that resonated with viewers. It was the kind of cold, quiet, devastating moment wrestling storytelling excels at. Not loud, not chaotic, but chilling in its simplicity. The story portrayed Seth walking out of the building carrying a gym bag, shoulders heavy, expression caught somewhere between disbelief and regret. a legacy in shambles. The narrative positioned Rollins as a fallen hero, someone fans had cheered for years, now portrayed as undone by ego and mistrust. His merchandise was fictionally pulled from shelves, upcoming appearances scrapped, and video game integrations paused. These were symbolic gestures within the story's universe, meant to reflect the magnitude of his fall. Characters backstage responded with a mix of relief and disappointment, some expressing sorrow for Seth's spiral, while others admitted they had noticed troubling behavior for months. It painted a picture of a locker room shaken but united, resolved to move forward. Personal ramifications. The storyline introduced an emotional subplot through Becky Lynch, Seth's wife, who, within the fictional universe, was blindsided by the events. Her on-screen reaction added depth to the unfolding drama, showing the ripple effect of Rollins's decisions and emphasizing that consequences rarely fall on one person alone. She was portrayed navigating a painful mix of loyalty, shock, and public scrutiny, wrestling with the duality of supporting her husband and confronting the fallout of his choices. Her involvement grounded the storyline, making the emotional stakes feel even more human. Industry-wide consequences. This fictional scandal spread beyond WWE, with other promotions in the storyline reacting cautiously to Seth's sudden departure. His character, once one of the most respected in the business, found himself at the center of whispered rumors and guarded conversations. The narrative suggested that some companies were hesitant to work with him due to the nature of his fictional exit, creating the impression of a talent whose actions reverberated across the wrestling world. It was one of the most dramatic career implosion arcs WWE storytelling had crafted in years. A cautionary tale within the script, industry veterans used Seth's downfall as a lesson in professionalism and humility. Commentators, analysts, and podcasters in the storyline reflected on how quickly the mighty can fall when they begin to believe they are untouchable. Seth's fictional experience became a symbol of how ambition, when left unchecked, can consume even the most talented performer. It reminded viewers that respect, loyalty, and communication are as essential behind the curtain as they are in the ring. Moving forward, in the end, this storyline served as a powerful turning point in the WWE universe. It reshaped relationships, shifted dynamics, and opened new creative pathways for future narratives. Triple H's leadership within the script was reaffirmed. The roster gained renewed unity, and fans were left buzzing over one of the most shocking fictional plot twists in years. And though Seth Rollins' character exited the stage under a cloud of controversy, his absence cast a long shadow, leaving open the possibility of redemption, reinvention, or perhaps the most dramatic return storyline WWE could ever craft.